as well, especially considering how the rest of the day played out. This is how things are looking. Manchester City with that comeback win against Wolves after the early scare. What would you take away from this game, Frank?
Well, another difficult win for Manchester City against the last of the Premier League. You know what? There is no way that I'm going to deny that Guardiola is one of the best, if he's not the best coach in the world. That Manchester City is one of the best, if not the best team in the world. But I'm so bored when I watched Manchester City playing. Can I say it? Yeah. You know what? Can I say that I'm fed up seeing handball game? Do you know what? They take the empty glass instead of the how do you call it, the opposite? You know, the half empty instead of the half full. You know what? Instead of being positive, they're really negative. It's what I think about Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola tried to avoid making mistakes, where you have to try to make sure the opponent are going to make mistakes. I think Rafael Varane said that in L'Equipe last week, saying that they try to avoid to make mistakes, therefore the football is less interesting anymore. And that's what it is. Yet you try to be perfect in a game which has to be imperfect in order to score goals. That's why I'm kind of bothered of saying that I don't like Pep Guardiola's football. No doubt that it's efficient, no doubt that having 80 or 90% the possession of the ball is maybe better than having 10%, but when I watch the game, I'm not interested because you only try to get the perfect position in order to score a goal. Where we can see Guardiola is shot. He didn't try to find somebody else. He tried, and that's what we want to see. And I'm sorry, that's made me think I'm not interested about watching City, which is harsh maybe, but that's the truth.
Frank, when was the last time Guardiola invited you for a round of golf?
That was already a long time ago because we were in Qatar at the time. But again, I love Pep. Pep is a great coach, and he found a way to be very effective. No doubt. As just a TV watcher, you know, when I watch the game, I know what I want to watch. I know what the kind of football I like. Maybe it pleases other people, and it doesn't on my side because, again, everything is, let's say, predicted, or they want to predict everything. And football is made of mistakes. Otherwise, if there isn't any mistakes, there are no goals.
What do you think of what Frank had to say about City's play?
Well, and that's on the overall style of play of Manchester City against a team that drops off as much as Wolves did today. I'm just going to talk about one specific decision that obviously Pep Guardiola made at halftime that didn't make a whole lot of sense. You had Doku on the left-hand side, you had Savinho on the right-hand side. For the start of the second half, they flipped. And both of them lost effectiveness and efficiency in their game. In fact, so much so that both of them had to be taken off the field. Now, Doku, whatever you may think of him as a player, he was giving Semedo a hard time down the left-hand side because he's losing the ball, but there are times in which he's a threat to get around him or to get on the inside. He can go outside, he can go inside, so he gives you variety. Savinho on the right-hand side was looking to combine, and he could also get on the outside, he could get on the inside. When you switch them over, now Savinho is not as quick as Semedo, and so he can no longer get on the outside. So then what does he do? He comes to the inside, and then comes to the numbers that Frank is talking about, and so it's pass here, to pass there, to pass here, to pass there, to pass there, to pass there, but we're never passing there. We're never getting into the box. We're never really threatening. We're not getting involved our players that can make a difference. And so guys like Erling Haaland, for example, specifically, today, he may have touched the ball, and I don't know the numbers, but just on empirical evidence, on me just watching the game, proper touches of the ball, he may have had 10. Honestly, he was not involved in the game. And this is the best center forward in the world. And yet he doesn't participate at all in the build-up of play. He doesn't participate at all in little balls in behind because they never look for those balls. And so who's playmaking for this team on top of the 18-yard box? It's Ruben Diaz. It's John Stones. It's Rico Lewis. Vardiol scores a goal. They are the ones, the defending players are the ones that are making the decisions in the attack for Manchester City. And today, they won the match, it's 3 points, you move on. But it continues to be an issue for this group that when somebody sits really deep, how do they go about creating opportunities? They didn't look like winning the game today. They got fortunate that they get a bunch of corners at the end, and eventually they execute a corner kick opportunity and they score a goal. But they did not look like they were about to score a goal.
Pep did talk about that after the game. He said it's not his job to be talking about how another team sets up against them. It's his job to be finding a way through that.
Well, that's true. But it looks to me as though he's saying that, but he doesn't want to do it other than the way they try and do it. Because they're not exciting. You know, I absolutely agree with every single thing Frank said. They're not exciting. I mean, they're not. And to the point of sometimes it looks like a basketball team where even though they have an opportunity to break, and in the odd time Haaland's eyes light up because he might get an early ball, it's almost like, whoa, hold on, whoa there, whoa, no, right. So let them get back. Let's get in position. And then let's start from there. That's what it looks and feels like, and it's not exciting to watch. And for Haaland, it must drive him absolutely potty. And
to the point of Erling Haaland, Stevie, I say this. There was one ball that they played over the top late in the match, and he was like, there's a ball coming. Oh, over my head. I'm running into it. He actually takes a beautiful touch on it, holds the ball up, plays the ball over to the left-hand side, and ends up creating an opportunity from it. And when I see this, I'm going, let's do it again and do it again and again until they prove that they can stop it. But what we know that they can stop is when we stop ourselves if we're Manchester City, and they do that so very often. Touch, 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 back. Touch, 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 back. And you know what it does to Erling Haaland? And I'll also say this about Erling Haaland. There are times in which, because he's not involved, he stops moving, which he shouldn't do. He shouldn't do. But he stops moving. And when I say he stops moving, he is walking because he knows they're not even looking for him. He knows the ball is not coming. And as a former striker, I can tell you, man, it is frustrating. It is frustrating. I need, every time I touch the ball, it's life in the attacking half. I need that life. I need you to refill my battery every time you give me the ball and in the attacking half, in the final third. When you don't give me that, it's like,
To be fair to him, though, in games like this, he doesn't have anywhere to go. I mean, there are 20 outfield players in a space 18 yards wide by probably maybe another 18 yards in a square. Now, if I'm a coach and I play 10v10 in the penalty box, people are going to think, what are you doing that for? That's crazy. But that's where Haaland's playing. He's playing in a box that size with 19 other adult bodies beside him. He's got no chance of finding any space anywhere. He's just got to hope that it gets a ricochet or somebody falls over. I mean, he's got no chance. You can't. Games like this is, I don't, because and even the commentary were talking about it. Oh, we haven't seen Haaland. Well, how's Haaland supposed to do anything? And the circumstances that he's in.
Yeah, fair enough, Stevie, and point well taken. But when you see a ball that is about to come in as a cross, which they did a few times, he's got to be moving. He's got to be on the move.
Well,
and too many times...
There's not many crosses coming in.
Doku played... Doku played a ball across in the first half, and he's hanging out. And you talk about the numbers. He can't just be hanging out in the far post when there's so many numbers in the box. You got to get on the move to gamble and see if you can get on the end of something.
Is that the one where he actually had a chance to hit it, but it came through 3 bodies? I mean, and so again, when you're watching the TV, it looks dead easy because of the angle you get. When you're down on the field and that ball from Doku has come through 3 bodies, because 3 of them have missed it,
It's still got to be on the move.
It's so quick, man.
He still has to be on the move.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you stand all the time, but I just think it's a little.
You two can argue amongst yourselves.
We're not really arguing.
It's a little tough.
We're not really arguing.
By the way, you're a centre forward. Leave him alone.
We're not really arguing.
Frank, let's get them out of this, shall we?
I don't know what she's talking about.
Now, the thing is, I feel bad and I feel a lot of sympathy for Erling Haaland. I would say, well, it's good. As long as we win the Premier League, as long as I score 40 or 50 goals, that's fine. Even if I touch like 3 balls or 5 balls a game, that's fine. But the day I won't win, like maybe the end of the season, you know, I might ask, you know, can I go to play for another team where I'm sure I can touch at least twice of the ball per game? Because really, I'm getting bored. I'm frustrated. That's not the way I feel the game. That will be my position. My positioning, sorry. I really feel that at the end of the day, at some point, Alan, and we are talking about the best striker in the world, touching 5 balls a game maybe, getting a little bit frustrated and being fed up of that tactic. Because it's for me, it's clear that they try to avoid putting the ball there in the 18-yard box. It's like they don't want to. They want to keep the ball, turn around, handball game, until, yeah, you know what? There is a corner kick and Guardiola hit the ball. Otherwise, we see nothing. And I'm with Ali 100%. The only one who tries to create something personal, more individual, is Doku. Doku tries to take on players. The others just make passes. It's like 800. How many passes they made today? 1,000? 1,000 to score from a 20-yard shot and the last corner kick. Everything for me, for not a lot. As an entertainment, for almost nothing.
Just a little one to back up Frank's point there about wanting to go. Liverpool's greatest ever striker, Ian Rush, spent a year at Juventus in the late 80s when it was defensive, keep the ball. And he came back from Juventus after Ian said, you know what, I hated every second of it. He says, if I touched the ball twice in a game, I was lucky. He said, I couldn't handle it anymore. And that's why he came back so quickly, because he didn't want it.
I'll tell you what, Pep Guardiola doesn't want Frank as his partner in golf anytime soon. Maybe you'll get to be his caddy or something, Frank. I don't think you're going to be best friends.
I don't play golf anymore, so don't worry.